Hello, lovely viewers. Welcome back to Easy Mathematics. We thank God for being able to come to you before with another interesting topic in Basic 8. Today we want to continue from where we started last week. Last week we were looking at the gradient of a line or the slope of a line. How to find the gradient given 2 points and how to find the gradient when given the equation of a line. Today we want to continue with that same idea and a slope. Last week we were able to look at the formula, how it came about when an equation is given and also when you are being given 2 points. Today we want to look at determine the slope intercept of a line. Determine the slope intercept of a straight line. Now, before we look at the examples, let's first understand the slope intercept. Now, we already know the general equation of a straight line, which was stated in our previous video. But with the slope intersection, it simply means the line or the equation of a line in the form y is equal to mx plus c. The moment the linear equation or the equation of a line is given in this form, then we say this becomes the slope intercept of the line. So if we have the slope intercept of the line as this, then we want to find the equation of the line in this form. Okay, so when we say slope intercept of a line, it is an equation of a line given in the form as y is equal to mx plus c. Now, what is m? What is c? For y and x, they are variable, they can change. But m, or we say where m is the slope or gradient. Okay, where m is the slope or the gradient, and c is constant. Now, depending on the equation of the line, we give the c as the y-intercept. Okay, that's the constant. Y-intercept. What is y-intercept? Y-intercept simply means when the line is drawn on a graph, where it meets the y-axis is the y-intercept. So in this case, the point gives you 0, c, where the c is the y-intercept. So when you draw the equation of a line, when you draw a linear graph, and you notice that the line meets the y-axis at a point, that point is the c of the slope intercept. So when the equation of a line is given in this form, then we say this is the slope intercept of the equation. I hope you understand that. So since we have this as the slope intercept, then we should know what the m is and what the c is. So if we can be able to find the slope intercept being the same as the equation of the line, then we should know the gradient of that line, the slope of that line, and the y-intercept. Now the y-intercept is the c, and that gives you the equation of the what? Of the line, being the slope intercept. So now that we know the slope intercept, and we know what we need in order to find the slope intercept, that is the gradient of the line, the equation of the line, then we can solve the given examples. So it says that determine the slope intercept of a line. And we are saying that the slope intercept of an equation or of a straight line is given in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. M is the slope and c is the y-intercept. Now the y-intercept simply means where the line cuts across the y-axis. So a form where the line cuts across the x-axis, the y-axis, then it means the point becomes 0, c, and c is the y-intercept. So let's take the first example. The first example says that find the equation of a line with slope 3 and the y-intercept 2. So here, we want the slope-intercept. The slope-intercept is in the form of this. So if I know my gradient and I know my c, that gives me the equation of that line. So here, I know that the slope-intercept is y is equal to mx plus c. Now the first example given, what is m? M is the slope. What is c? C is the y-intercept. So it says find the equation of a line with slope 3 and the y-intercept 2. So the slope, which is the gradient, y is equal to 3x plus y-intercept being the c, 2. So 2. So we write a 2. And you notice that the moment you write this, this gives you the equation of that line. That is why we are being told to find the equation of the line with the given slope and the given gradient. So anytime you are being asked to find the equation of a line, given a slope and the y-intercept, we use the form y is equal to mx plus c. That is what we have to use. The moment you are being given gradient or slope and the y-intercept, we use the form y is equal to mx plus c so that we can find the equation of the line. So the number 1 was just an introduction. Now let's look at the number 2. The number 2 is saying that find the equation of a line in slope intersection form y is equal to 7 over 2 and slope negative 5 over 2. Let's look at that question very carefully. So it says, find the equation of a line in a slope intercept form. So the slope intercept form, that should tell you that I want to write it in the form mx plus c. And here you have been given your y-intercept 7 over 2, and you have been given your slope as negative 5 over 2. So here, because I have the gradient and the y-intercept, I'm going to use the form being the slope-intercept. So m is the gradient, you just substitute. C is the y-intercept, you substitute. So this is going to give me y is equal to m is the slope, negative 5 over 2 plus negative 5 over 2x plus the c. And the c is the y-intercept, so 7 out of 2. So this gives you an equation involving fraction. So all we need to do is to just get rid of the what? Of the denominator. And you can see that the denominator here is 2. This one is also 2. So what do? We have to get rid of the what? Of the, how do we call it? The denominator by just multiplying this by 2, this by 2, this also by 2. So we are going to say y times 2 is equal to 2 times negative 5 over 2x plus 2 times 7 over 2. So these 2 cancel the 2 here. This also cancels out. Then we have 2y is equal to negative 5y plus 7. So this becomes the what? The equation of the line. The equation of the line. We can also choose to leave it here. We can just do the intersecting and leave it there. But since we don't want to leave it in a fraction form, we just have to multiply by the what? The denominator. So this one is very simple. Once you have the slope and the y-intercept, we use this form. Then you solve for it. So what we should know, or the most important part here is that what am I given to find the equation of the line? If you are given the slope and the y-intercept, then don't waste time. Quickly use the slope-intercept form, which is y is equal to mx plus c. M is the gradient, C is the y-intercept. Substitute and solve for it, if possible. And that gives you the gradient, the equation of the line. Okay, so let's continue. So here, the number 2, we were given the y-intercept as this. So this is the C. And we were given the slope as this, which is the M. So all I need to do is to substitute. I have the slope as y is equal to mx plus c. So what do I wait for? Substitute. M is negative 5 over 2. So I'm going to write it here. In place of m, negative 5 over 2x. Plus c. The c is 7 over 2. So if the c is 7 over 2, what do? I'll just substitute. Now this gives me the equation as y is equal to negative 5 over 2x plus 7 over 2. If I want, I will just multiply both sides of the equation by the denominator. So even with this one, I can still rewrite it in a form that I will bring the negative 5x here, the 7 here, then equate it to 0, which is going to give me 2y plus 5x minus 7 is equal to 0. Also the same thing as what? As the equation. Or I can just let it be y is equal to negative 5 over 2x plus 7 over 2. That is the what? The equation of the line. So here, finding the equation is going to give me 2y plus 5x minus 7 is equal to 0. The same thing here. We can also regroup this one in a form by saying y, then we take the 3x, giving you negative 3x, then we take the 2, giving you negative 2 is equal to 0. And that gives you the equation of that line, which is the first one. So with this one, it's very simple. All you need to know is the slope and the y-intercept. Remember we said that the y-intercept is where the equation of the line meets the y-axis. So when you take this one for example, the moment the line cuts across the y-axis, the x becomes 0 and the y is 7 over 2. So this, at this point, it means the line that we are drawing has passed through the y-axis at 7 over 2, which is the same as 3.5. The same thing when you come to this equation. Since the c is 2 and the 2 is the y-intercept, it means the line cuts across the y-axis at a point 0, 2. And that is the what? The point of intersection, that is the y-intercept. So all we need to know is the gradient given and the y-intercept given. Then we substitute. So the equation of the line, whereby the slope is negative 5 over 2 and the y-intercept is 7 over 2, is 2y plus 5x minus 7 is equal to what? 0. And that is the what? The equation. That is how we should always do it. Always let them be here, then you equate it to what? To 0. Good. Now, let us look at the number 3. The number 3 too is saying that determine the equation of a line with slope 2 and y-intercept 3. Hence, find the value of y when x is 4. Now remember I told you that, or we said that with the slope-intercept, or with the equation of a line in the form of y is equal to mx plus c, the x and y are variables. It means they can change. But the m here is the gradient or the slope, and the c here is the y-intercept. So here, after being able to find the equation of the line, we want the value of y when the value of x is 4. So before we can even solve this one, we have to get the equation of the line correct. And generally, the equation is given as mx plus c. That is the what? The slope-intercept. And the slope-intercept form can be used to find the equation of the line when given the slope and the y-intercept. So do we have the y-intercept? Yes, which is -3. Do we have the slope? Yes, which is 2. So we do what? We substitute. So I'm going to rewrite and say y is equal to mx, but the m is 2. So I'll say 2x plus c. And the c is what? -3. So -3. Now rewriting this properly will give you y is equal to 2x minus 3. Y minus 3. Positive meeting negative multiplies to give you negative. Now what will be the equation? I'll just take this to the other side, this to the other side, and equate it to 0. So y is equal to, when this comes, we have y minus 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. And this becomes the equation of the line. The equation of the line. Remember, previously, we said the equation of a line is given as ax plus by, ay plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This is the general equation of what? Of a straight line. This is it. This is a general equation of a straight line. So if this being the general equation of a straight line, then all I need to know is that after solving for the slope-intercept, just regroup your equation in this form. And that gives you the what? The general equation of the line. Or we can say ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. We apologize if we are speeding. We have to do that for our safety. So the 3 is saying that find the equation. So now this being the equation, we have to find the value of y when x is 4. So in that same equation, this equation of the line, or we can use this one. We can choose to use this or this. So if we are using this, we have the equation as y minus 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. We have been told to find the value of y when x is 4. So wherever we see x in this equation, we are going to substitute it with 4. So we are going to say y minus 2 times x, so times 4, plus 3 is equal to 0. So we have y minus, this will give you 8, plus 3 is equal to 0. Then we have y, solving for this will give you minus 5 is equal to 0. Then y is equal to 0 plus 5. Y is equal to 4. So therefore, when x, is equal to 5. So therefore, when x is equal to 4, then y is what? 5. So let's quickly go through again. You see, when we say slope-intercept, the slope-intercept is given or gives the equation of a line in this form. So when it is being given in this form, then you should know that for me to find the equation of any line in this form, I should get my gradient and my y-intercept. Once I have the gradient and the y-intercept, I will be able to find the equation of the line. Now, the general equation of the line was given in our previous video. So being able to substitute this, the gradient and the y-intercept, you will just regroup this in this form, being the gradient or being the equation of the line. So with this equation of the line, I have been able to do this because I have the slope and the y-intercept. Good. But with the number 3, we were told to find the equation of the line and hence find the value of the variable y when x is given. So it means the point x5 are on the line, or they are points that help to get the line when plotting. And we are saying that the general formula is this. We have been given gradient as 2. We have been given the y-intercept as -3. So this multiplying gives you this. Then we just regroup it in this form. And this gives you the equation of the linear or the straight line. So now that I have this, the question demands me to find the value of y when x is 4. So in this same equation, I'll just substitute the x with 4 so that I can solve for the y. Now when you substitute, 4 2 is 8 or -8, then plus 3. Solving for this gives you -5. Making y stand alone, we take it there, give you what? 5 as the value of y. And so this is how we solve for the slope-intercept of a line. In other words, finding the equation of a line when given the gradient and the y-intercept. Good. Now let's continue with the next one. Now we also want to find the equation of the line when you are being given one point and the gradient of the line. But the moment we are being given the gradient and a point that passes through the line, then we are going to say we need the point slope of a straight line. Now the point slope of a straight line is given as y minus y1 is equal to m bracket of x minus x1. Now, how was this formula derived? This formula was derived simply from the gradient of a line. We were told that when we are finding the gradient of a line, it is being given as this. So if the gradient of a line is given as this, then out of the gradient of the line, I can be able to find the equation of a line when I'm being given gradient and one point. So this is going to be multiply this by x2 minus x1 and multiply this one too by x2 by x1. So this one will cancel out. So you have this multiplying this as x2 minus x1m is equal to y2 minus y1m. But because we need an equation, we have to let the variable x and y be alone. Therefore, we should let this one be x and y. And we use this to find the equation of the line, which is this. We use this to find the equation of the line when we are being given gradient and one point. And this is the form of the point slope. So the point slope of a straight line is given as y minus y1, which is equal to m bracket of x minus x1. Now the y here, the y and x here, they are variables. They can change. But the m, which we all know, is the gradient or the slope of that line. So if m is the gradient, or if I'm being given m, and I'm being given 1 point, then that 1 point takes the what? The x and y. Good. So let us solve this example. So also, where m is the slope, you should always know the definitions. And x1, y1 is a point. But the x and y, they are variables, okay, which will help us to get the equation of the line. And this form, when the equation of a line is given in this form, we say it is in a what? A point slope form. It is in a point slope form. So here we are going to solve the 1 and 2. The number 3 is different thing on its own, which we'll do that, God willing, next week. So here, to find the equation of the line that passes through the point this with a slope of 3. So the moment you are being given 1 point and equation and the slope, we use the point slope. But the moment you are being given the gradient and the y-intercept, then what are we going to use? The slope-intercept. Good. So number 1, it says find the equation of a line with slope 3. So we know the gradient 3, which or that passes through the point 3, 2. So we know the slope. We have been given 1 point. So now I can find my equation. But to find the equation, I'm going to use the point slope, which is y minus y1 is equal to m bracket of x minus x1. So in the question, what is m? M is the slope, and the point here is given. So the x here is the x1, the point y here is the y1. So all we need to do is to substitute. So I'm going to say y minus y1, which is 2, is equal to m. M is the gradient, 3. Then x minus x1, which is what? 3. Now I'm done. This is the what? The equation of the line. But since we can simplify this, we have to simplify it. So let's simplify. Now we have to clear the bracket first. So y is equal to y minus 2 is equal to 3 will multiply x, and the 3 again will multiply this 3. So 3 times x will give you 3x. Then 3 times negative 3 will give you negative 9. Now with this, what do? We can group like things. So let's take this one here and say y is equal to 3x minus 9 plus 2. So y is equal to 3x plus 7. So this is the equation of the what? Of the line. This is the equation of the line. We can also regroup it. We can also regroup this as y minus 3x minus 7 is equal to 0. It is not wrong. It is also correct. So this gives you the equation of the what? Of that line. And this is given as the general equation of that same line. So all we need to know is that in finding the equation of a line, when given a point and a gradient, we are going to use the point slope. And this is the point slope. Very simple. When you are being given a point, in other words, 1 point, and you are being given the gradient, we use this. Number 2, it says that if a line passes through a point 3, negative 1, so here this is your x1, this is also your y1, so you have been given a point. So if a line passes through a point 3, negative 1 with a slope of 2 over 3, find the equation of that line. So here, since I've been given a point and I've been given a slope, I'll just use the point slope. Mx bracket x1. Okay, so once you are being given gradient and you have the point, use this. So what is m? M is this. So we are going to say y minus y1, which is negative 1, is equal to m. Sorry? Is equal to m, and the m is 2 over 3. Bracket of x minus x1, and x1 is 3. So we just simplify because it's possible to simplify. So this is going to give you y plus 1, which is equal to, this multiply this will give you 2 over 3x. And when this multiplies this, you are getting negative 2, because the 3 will cancel out. Then we just group like this. Y is equal to 2 over 3x minus 2. When the positive 1 crosses, gives you negative 1. So y is equal to 2 over 3x minus 3. If we want to get rid of the fraction, We multiply by the denominator, which is the LCM. So times 3 times 3 times 3. This gives you 3y is equal to 2x minus 9. Now regrouping will give you 3y minus 2x plus 9 is equal to 0. And that gives you the equation. We can choose to stop here. We are not wrong. Because that is also the equation of the line. But if we want to get rid of the fraction, we multiply by the LCM. 3 times y is this. If you multiply this times 3, you are getting this. If you multiply this times 3, you are getting this. Then you just regroup it as that. Now with the number 3, this one is what finding the equation when you are being given 2 points. And with that one, it's different from this. Though we are going to use the same point slope. So we will talk about that answer or this question, God willing, next week. We apologize if we are speeding. We have to because of our time factor. So today we've looked at the slope intercept and the point slope. We said the slope intercept is when you are being given the gradient and the y-intercept. To find the equation of a line in this form. Then with the point slope, it is when you are given the gradient and 1 point to find the equation of the line. Thank you for staying tuned. Please, if you have any question, you can drop it down. If you have any suggestion too, you can drop it down. We hope that the presentation today will help you to understand more when it comes to slope intercept and point slope. See you next time.